The Kingdom of Sweden, the inventor of Bluetooth, is also the birthplace of the world's most famous furniture company. You recognized the logo as soon as you saw it. Yes, IKEA is a Swedish brand. Sweden is not limited to just this, though. The country that invented the seat belts in the cars you are using today is Sweden. Thanks to this technology, every car brand can equip their vehicles with seat belts. Sweden has thus saved millions of lives through this innovation. Additionally, Sweden established the world's first central bank and played a pivotal role in shaping the modern global economy. In the past 2 centuries, the country has remained free from active warfare, unlike many other nations. Unlike other countries with expansionist concerns, Sweden has consistently preferred neutrality. It has also fostered the rapid emergence of global textile brands like H&M. Their long-standing peace has even earned Sweden the Nobel Peace Prize. Furthermore, Sweden is home to valuable companies like Spotify and ERICSON. Those who grew up before the 2000s will remember ERICSON well. Once upon a time, before the likes of iPhone and Samsung dominated the global market, ERICSON shared leadership in the mobile phone market with Nokia, a Finnish brand. They held the pinnacle of the mobile phone world until Steve Jobs introduced the first iPhone in 2007. However, don't think that this company has disappeared. In central locations in Stockholm, Sweden, they maintain active and operational centers. While you may not see them in the smartphone market today, they have found other ways to be valuable to Sweden. Ericsson is currently a key player in establishing Sweden's active internet infrastructure system. Today, led by Stockholm, Sweden boasts an outstanding internet infrastructure. While standard internet speeds in less developed countries may seem sufficient for social media needs, high-speed internet is crucial in the field of information technology. For example, individuals who rely heavily on computer work and have constant file downloading and uploading needs cannot have adequate infrastructure in less developed countries. However, Sweden, under Ericsson's leadership, has achieved a robust infrastructure in this regard. Scandinavian countries are currently extremely popular. They have a significant influence in global politics, and in terms of economy and prosperity, they are among the most desired regions to live in. However, their main drawback is the harsh northern European climate, which can deter people from Scandinavia. Nevertheless, the majority of the population is happy and feels lucky to have been born in this region because the purchasing power is exceptionally high. Sweden is one of these countries and is one of the most productive nations globally. They have introduced many renowned brands to the world, contributing to a stable national economy. In contrast, Sweden's vast landmass is inhabited by only 11 million registered individuals, which makes it a tranquil country far from the crowdedness associated with large populations. Being a country focused on production, the low population directly contributes to higher per capita income and overall happiness among the people. For instance, Sweden consistently ranks in the top 10 of the World Happiness Index. While Finland often secures the top spot in this ranking, Sweden currently holds the 6th position. According to these statistics, Swedes appear to be even happier than their German counterparts. The most active cities in Sweden, of course, include the capital, Stockholm, where 1/5 of the country's population, approximately 2 million people, prefer to live.
Stockholm was once limited to just this small area. It used to be a place called Gamla Stan. It even looked like a small island when viewed from above. Over time, this village grew and became the production capital of one of the world's most prestigious brands. For the past 20 years, they have reached the highest levels of world media, and today, they are considered the world's second most technologically advanced country after Silicon Valley in San Francisco. A relatively new company called Epidemic Sound, which was created specifically for the YouTube market and whose music we also use, is valued at around $1,500,000. That's entrepreneurship for you. One of the most admirable things in the Scandinavian countries is the abundance of entrepreneurial minds. These entrepreneurial individuals succeed in whatever sector they enter because they conduct their businesses honestly. They bring foreign currency into their countries. One of the country's most iconic products is the VOLVO car brand, as you all know. The vehicles produced by this brand are consistently ranked among the sturdiest in the world. VOLVO is a Swedish car brand based in Gothenburg that enjoys immense popularity worldwide. What makes them so popular is their use of Swedish steel, known as the world's highest quality steel, in vehicle manufacturing. In most accidents involving VOLVO cars, they often don't turn into a total wreck, and in colloquial terms, they don't get totaled. Usually, the other vehicles involved in the collision sustain more damage and become unusable. This is why people involved in accidents with VOLVO cars rarely experience casualties. They often manage to get through an accident with minor injuries. VOLVO was also the first to invent the seatbelt, which belongs to Sweden. Today, VOLVO is one of the world's safest car brands, passing most crash tests with flying colors. This must be a source of pride for Sweden. Another area where Sweden has excelled is its unique Swedish meatballs. They have managed to successfully introduce a meatball to the world. While I'm sure there are much tastier meatballs in other countries, the Swedes market their product so well that their meatballs become a brand of their own. In this regard, it's safe to say they are experts in branding. Not only in Sweden but in every IKEA store worldwide, you can find these meatballs. IKEA has an interesting story as well. One of the factors that set them apart in the market was their ability to provide affordable furniture worldwide. The second was selling furniture in pieces. Because in the 1950s, you can imagine how difficult it was to export a piece of furniture whole to other countries. They managed to sell these pieces in very small packages and market them at extremely competitive prices, which quickly made them the world's largest furniture retailer. In Sweden, there are recycling facilities in various parts of every city. Instead of relaxing at home on weekends, people line up in their cars to get into these recycling facilities. You might think there's some kind of giveaway or campaign going on when you see the queues, but that's not the case. In Sweden, every family brings their recyclable materials to these facilities free of charge. That's because Sweden is a country that generates electricity from recycling. They rank second in the world in this area after Germany, and they even purchase garbage from outside. This way, Sweden keeps their environment clean and provides energy for their country. They have an interesting system for recycling materials. For example, when you buy a product in plastic or glass bottles at the supermarket, you receive a code related to the product from the cashier. If you leave those bottles in the recycling containers, you can get a refund on the bottle deposit in cash. In summary, about 99% of all waste generated by people in Sweden is transformed into different materials and energy, giving them a second life. Despite being the citizens of a pioneering country in branding, the people in Sweden don't obsess over buying new things. For example, you won't find second-hand clothing exchange stores in most countries. People in those places can't imagine wearing something previously owned by someone else, and many consider it a matter of pride. Especially when it comes to clothing, buying something previously worn by someone else is not a preferred option in most societies. However, Swedes, like Danes, have overcome this mentality. There are second-hand stores all over the country. Instead of paying 2 or 3 times the price for a product that's been used for just a year or two, people in Sweden opt for second-hand items at half the price or even less. Moreover, these stores are often crowded and popular. I think it's all a matter of perception. Today, Sweden is also moving towards reshaping the world in terms of finance. People here are moving away from using cash. They encourage the population to stop using cash, and even children as young as 7 can receive credit cards from banks. They want to instill this habit in young people so that future generations become accustomed to making payments with cards. They want cards to be used in every aspect of life and aim to completely eliminate paper money from circulation. That's why when you go to a store in Sweden, they will expect you to pay with a card. Cash seems to be nearly non-existent in daily life in Sweden. The entire shopping system in the country is conducted through an app called Swish. Even if you have plenty of cash in your wallet, people in Sweden will probably assume you're involved in illegal activities. In other words, they may think you're selling something illicit under the table, as having cash on hand is seen as unusual. In Sweden, you can't buy as much alcohol as you want from stores, even if you're over 18. Alcoholic beverages are sold in a separate area in Swedish stores. You pick the drink you want, take it to the designated area, and go through an identity check. If you don't provide identification, they won't sell you the alcoholic product. In conclusion, Sweden is a much-loved country that has made numerous positive contributions to the world. They have excelled in branding and created a production-based economy. Moreover, the country is highly secure, and personal freedoms are paramount. For these reasons, various marginal groups from around the world choose to live in Sweden. As long as these groups don't commit any crimes, they can freely express their views without interference. People are free to protest and engage in demonstrations. In other words, sensitive issues in different countries around the world can be openly discussed in this country.